the leader. The system don't like me, the system don't like your ass either. The color of your skin, no matter to them, you are not equal. If you ain't part of the 1%, you are not we the people. They acting like they like you, but you cannot join their party. They acting like they like you, but you cannot join their party. You poor and dying on the ground, that ambulance is tardy. You rich and dying on the ground, they give you a brand new body. These cold-hearted bastards killing children in their leisure. These bastards keep their heart locked up in a cryogenic freezer. They out here drunk with power, hanging people till they seizure. They out here having orgies going both ways just like Caesar. They out here burning money you could've used to feed your family. They laughing at the people starving to death down in the valley. You protesting, they tell them robots go shoot up the rally. Till I'm finding a man with a sign in his hand, he dead up in the alley. If you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. Said if you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. Said if you tired of this shit, then let us take an oath. If you tired of this shit, let us take an oath. Now put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air, put one hand in the air. Throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up, throw them middle fingers up. Now jump up and down, 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 jump up and down.
Welcome back to Rome's Rebellion. I know I have been absent for a while, but I always come back with some great news. And that great news right now is revolution. We have people on the ground who actually want to get things done, and they would love for you to hear them out. If you will please have a warm welcome for my friend, APM. Try to hear him out, y'all. So, what's your plans like? What is your plans like, your goal? I know, like, we all got different ways of getting to the revolution, but what do you see the end goal being after the revolution?
Okay, right. Well, the end goal for the revolution will be a complete reworking of the society as we have now. Now, the way we're going to achieve that is through constitutional amendments. The way we're going to achieve constitutional amendments that will change everything: wealth redistribution, Medicare for all, UBI, reparations, Green New Deal, minimum wage, maximum wage, all the stuff we need in order to fix society is through a general strike. Now, the way the general strike will work is we will need anywhere from, at the very least, 20 to 25% participating. And this is how it has to be. You need everyone to not go to work, not consume, not shop, not do any online shopping, not do any of that crap. Don't consume any media on the day. Don't watch CNN, don't watch NBC, don't go on YouTube, don't do anything. Turn off all computers, turn off Facebook, turn off Twitter, turn off everything, because it's going to be 24/7 propaganda telling you how this is killing people, it's destroying the economy, it's not working. And here's how the strike has to work. It has to work as a stay-home strike. Because if people are out in the street, you are a target. You have the police and the military cracking your heads, shooting you, locking you up, raping you, everything they did to Occupy Wall Street, Black Lives Matter. If you stay at home strike, there's no army in the world that's big enough to force everyone to work.
Especially not America. We outnumber our military, and we outgun our military and our police officers.
Exactly. If people stay home, everyone will know that any of those agitators that they see on the streets are just those fucking pigs that do that shit now, all through Black Lives Matter, all through Occupy Wall Street. We saw them. There's video of them all the time. But this we know is absolute truth. If there's no target, there's nothing they can do to intimidate us. This strike
or try to flip our message.
Exactly.
Because conservatives will be wanting to join this general strike, yes, but they have a different belief system. They don't want a revolution, but we still have a common enemy within the government. But just like I tell conservatives all the time, if Black lives get better in America, that means everybody's lives get better. Just like how Blacks are one of the highest motherfuckers that commit crimes. It's only because we are high scale poverty. If I wasn't living in poverty, then your grandmother and your uncles and aunties wouldn't be a target of mine when I was going robbing, going out, stealing things and whatnot. So, a revolution is good for everyone, but how do we break that down to a regular George Bush, Rush Limbaugh Republican? How do we break down the benefits, the good benefits of a revolution for someone who don't want it?
Here's how. Everybody is concerned about their own self-interest. And as we know with politics, everyone votes with their wallet. So when you had in this last election, the one before that, people saying, oh, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist. Yeah, well, guess what? All presidents are racist.
All of them racist. Right. Shit, I got Obama with the Hitler mustache on my page. So
yeah. I mean, if you want to talk about Pakistani children who's bombing day in and day out, we know the answer.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about that. The fact is they vote by the pocketbook. And if you tell people, hey, look, you have 40% of the country making under $30,000 a year. Those are poverty wages.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live off of that in most of the world. You have people getting subsidized with food stamps while the Walton family makes billions of dollars every year by paying everyone poverty wages.
Yes.
So here's how you appeal to all conservatives, because they care about their money too. If you say, look, you're going to have more time off with vacation, you're going to be able to retire earlier, you're going to have a UBI, you're going to have increased Social Security, you're going to have, you can say, oh, well, the taxes are going to go up. Not for you, not for you, for other people, and you're going to get things. People say they don't like government, but what they mean is they don't like because government doesn't work for them. Government works for the 1%, government works for the military-industrial complex. That needs to change. Workers, labor, that creates all wealth. We see that with this economy now. 40% of the workforce kicked out of the labor market, and you have Congress greenlighting trillions of dollars for them day in and day out because they don't make shit. We're the ones who make wealth for the country.
Yeah.
And we have right now in the United States, not offshore taxes, but just what's reported, $98 trillion in privately held wealth. 98 trillion. That's enough for completely doing infrastructure. We can retrofit all homes to be green economy all across the board. We can pay for everything. We can cancel all debt, all student debt, all medical debt, all public debt.
Take back control of the electrical grid.
And in this manifesto that we have cooked up, we cover it all. I don't leave anything out. And here's how we also get Republicans, the same way we get everyone else. The only way for this to work is if we get, like I said, at least a quarter of the working population on our side. Now, we'll need other people too, people that aren't work, retirees, and everything like that. They all do their part. Here's how I mean it. If you have 20%, let's say, not participating in work, that's at least another 20 to 40% of people that are dependent on those people going to jobs so they can work. If you have teachers not going to work, that means there's at least 20 parents who have to come get their kids. They can't work that day. Yeah. Same for people that work in nursing homes. You have a train driver, a plane.
See, you're right. You're absolutely correct, because I always tell people, like right now, I was like, if poor people wanted to go all out and just kill everybody, we have the power to do that. We grow the food, we bag the food, we raise rich people kids. We wash their homes and clean their homes and wash out their pools. Like, we can go crazy if we wanted to. We have the power, but with us being so financially broke, we feel like money is the only power. But no, you have the people. And even if like a lot of people like this, it is going to come down to blood, sweat, tears, always. But that's when you actually want something. But for the people that's trying to avoid blood, that's like, somebody's going to have to die for this. Like, somebody died for us to be right here talking, so we're gonna have to we gotta make sure that if we're gonna be the ones stepping up, we gotta step all the way up to where we are the front line and nobody can get through us. If they get through us, then they gotta we got a hell of a backup. We gotta make sure we got a hell of a backup. But we gotta make sure that we are so blunt, so razor sharp with our message. Like, this is why I don't I never advocate to work with your enemies. Like people always say, oh well, you have to work with Democrats and Republicans to get things done, and blah blah blah. No, you don't. No, you don't. All you need is you and your neighbor, and you and your neighborhood, and y'all need to be on some type of middle ground. Everybody aren't gonna come to the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Even if y'all all agree, it's some motherfuckers who just disagree just to be different. So all you need is you and your people. So what I'm about to say to you is, we see liberals are making their bed and fluffing their pillows. They're getting ready to go back to sleep for the next 4 years. How the fuck do you plan on making sure they don't tarnish our message like they did with defund the police?
Well, there's a couple of things. They are good at messaging because, the media is neoliberal. So there's that aspect. The thing too, I also like to point out to everyone is that if you look at the Democratic primary, right? I'm just using this as an example. You had 35 million people vote in that thing in 2020. 81 million people voted for Biden. So that means there was almost 50 million people that were checked out of it. They weren't really paying attention. They weren't that involved until the last minute. Yep. We can reach people like that. We can reach people that don't vote at all together. The managerial class, that's what a big chunk of the neoliberal media class is. They're never going to be on our side. That's like trying to appeal to right-wing MAGA people. They're in their own cult.
See, I don't know about that, because I still flip MAGAs till this day. I still flip MAGAs. The only reason why I flip MAGAs is because I feel like Trump is better than Biden. That's the only reason why they like me. But it brings them, and whatever brings them. Like, I remember on Twitter, some guy was agreeing with me, but his fellow follower, whatever, he was like, "Nigga, you talking to a commie? You just played yourself," But I'm like, who gives a fuck what I am? We saw each other as human beings before you put a title on me. We want the same things, but you came here and put a title on me. So now we got a reason to fight. No, we still want the same things anyways, and we kept on with our conversation. That's how,
well, that can't work. Here's what I'm saying is that, if you talk to people without falling into the trap of tribalism, because people want to fall back and they're like, I'm this, I'm team blue, I'm team red, I'm Christian, I'm Muslim. If you just talk strictly ideas, strictly policy, like Medicare for all, that's not a left or right thing. That's not a left or right thing any part in the world. Anyone who says that's government control, just tell them, no, that's bullshit. That just means the government picks up the tab. Everything else is the same. You just now can afford to go see a doctor.
We pick up the tab now. What do the government actually do right now with us paying premiums and all these fucking taxes on your health? What do the government actually do? We need them to do something. Why are they here? Why do we even have a government if we don't want to have a government that works?
Exactly. This is how it is. Government, we don't have the consent of the governed when you have Congress that has like a 13% approval rating, when you have 90% of at least one side wants Medicare for all and like 60% of the whole country does, and no one even votes on this thing. They're never going to do it because they're beholden to their donors. So that's why we have to force them. And in this manifesto, when I say I cover everything, I mean everything. I don't want any wishy-washy reforms that can be undone later on. These are amendments that are in there. This is anti-corruption amendments. This is, we go through all of their taxes their entire life before they're even allowed to run in office, and for 10 years after the fact. They're not allowed
while we're going to attack the Constitution, I do call it an attack on the Constitution, because the Constitution is just racist itself. So we're going to attack the Constitution.
Right. We're fixing it. That's a better way of putting it. So we can get people
I'm just saying, by definition, we are terrorists to America.
America's terrorists to us.
So I'm just saying, but we have to make sure that we rewrite a Bill of Rights every 4 years too. We got to make sure that we touch every fucking ground.
Right.
Because it's always going to be some loophole. Just like how these amendments have loopholes in them with the Constitution and like slavery and whatnot through the prison or financial slavery. It's always some loophole. So we have to go through every fucking page and rewrite everything because, for one, these are old laws that we are going off. Even the amendments are old. They are too old for us to live off of right now because of the people that wrote them are dead.
Right. Well, that was the thing. Like,
dead man don't
Jefferson
dance.
always talked about that shit too. Jefferson, slave owner, pedophile, we know that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he at least had one really good point. He said the Constitution should be constantly updated because you don't want the dead to rule the living, which is true. Now, we want to move to a more direct democracy. Look, if I had my way, we would undo everything and start over. But I understand I'm not a god. I can't just snap my fingers and have it. So we have to build a coalition. And the way to do that is to get us to what I think is the 20th century with all these reforms, not even the 21st century. 21st century, we would have flying cars and shit. 21st century, we would have had direct democracy. We wouldn't have this representative democracy bullshit that's not representative at all. We would have.
We could have this shit, but we focus our money and our science in the wrong areas and the wrong places. We focus our science on killing people. We focus our science. And that's what people, people kills me with that shit. Like, I want a president that's going to listen to science. Science is everything that you want it to be. It's not always good and it's not always bad.
No, but we have a year to fix the planet. That's what we have before we're talking at the end of the century, half the planet's going to be underwater. We can't sustain that, which is why.
Or on fire. Or on fire,
or on Earth, everything. We're still fracking right now. It's not like it's going to end with just one nightmare scenario. It's going to all happen at the same time.
But see, our politicians aren't going to live long enough to even see these consequences.
Which is why we have age limits too. I put that shit in there as well.
That's why I always tell people, like, look, why do we have these fucking 60, 70, 80-year-olds people writing laws and running our government when we don't even, what? Like, hold on. First of all, if I was 60-something years old, I wouldn't want nothing to do with what the next generation has to deal with. Matter of fact, I got generations under me, and I told people this. If I'm 65 years old, and I'm still out here talking about fight the power, just shoot me in the fucking head. Because my job is done. I failed. Pass it on. Get the fuck on, bro. Because all these, like even some of these older black progressives, they still are conservative in their ways because time to move on, but you still fighting for the same shit because you ain't even get your first job done. But we done moved on. Now we need these rights and those rights. And you still fighting for these rights.
Yeah, that's why, that's why I say if we have age requirements, for elected office, you have to be 25 to be a congressman, you got to be 35 to be a president, or I think it's 30 to be a senator. Well, then you should sure as hell have age limits too. If you're going to
feel about age limit on voting?
Well, actually, I say it should be lowered. If you are able to work, and we do, we say 15.
I mean the top.
Oh, you mean the top? You mean letting them stopping it from going that way?
Yeah, I think it sure really depends on your mental capacity, but. Because a lot of older people, like I just seen an old nigga run into a fucking building, run his car into a fucking, like, come on, man. Who really telling him to vote?
Well, the thing is, I look at it as, it's like, okay, I saw this one comedian years ago where he had a joke. He said, look, I don't think anyone past the age of 65 should vote because it's not their plan.
That's 65, I'll say 80.
Well, the thing is, I look at it as, some of them are pretty sharp. They still care. They're still, and even if it's not for them, they're still worried about their kids and grandkids. So I don't think that should be repealed. I don't think once you get to a certain point, you should be checked out of society. I do think it's obscene that we make anyone past the age of 60 work full time. That's a fucking crime against humanity.
Yeah, that's obscene. That's
And
absurd.
that's not, and I also put it in there too. I was like, look, if you're working in a physically taxing job, you should retire at 50.
Like I only asked that question because of the way, because of what our older generations have got us into. I mean, like, let's be blunt about this. They has left us a toilet that don't flush, full of shit, full of tissue, no plumbing,
Right.
and they say just wipe it off.
Mm-hmm.
But bruh,
oh, here's another way to
you
do
know,
this. We got
and
mandatory voting in here, so that way the
if,
young actually counteract the old. Because you know the young don't vote because there's so many barriers for it. You have mandatory voting will outnumber them that way. So
yeah.
there's still have
And we need ranked choice anyway. We won't even have this problem if we have ranked choice.
Ranked choice is in there too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and
Yeah, but I just don't want this to be a repeat. You understand me? Because what if we do end up saving the world? Say we end up saving the world, end up saving America, whatever.
Everything.
Who's to say that we just won't grow into power and say just, just like how these old politicians are doing, they are staying into power to make sure that we don't take away their money, make sure we don't put them in prison, because that's exactly where they're going if a nigga like me getting in
Right.
power.
Well,
So
I think,
how do we stop us from ruining the future for future generations?
I believe everyone is instantly corruptible, which is why I don't think anyone should have power. I am
at a certain point.
I'm suspect of everyone with power.
I think you should have power within. The
With
only
checks
power you
on
should
it.
have is
With
what the
checks.
power is what the people gives you.
Exactly. And so that's why I put as many maximum checks on it as possible, because I expect people to be corrupt. I expect people to go power hungry, which is why all the financial records are on full display, which is why if you dip below 50% approval, there are snap elections called to vote your ass out. We're not waiting for your full term to be done. We're ready to vote you out if you're not ready. And I understand, once you get older, you get more conservative, you get more withdrawn within your worldview. Imagined existence of what used to be is how you think things should be. That's the more conservative mindset.
Back in the days.
Back in the days, in the mystical 1950s that never actually existed. The 1950s, where you had a wealth tax on the top 1% that reached 91%. 91%.
College wasn't shit. Motherfuckers walking into plants getting jobs without a high school diploma.
Exactly. Everyone that's in Congress, the Senate, the president, the judicial, they all get paid the minimum wage. Nothing higher.
Ooh, the same shit. Make the same shit we make, nigga. Y'all do less work than us, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, and it's not salary, it's hourly. So that means if you're out raising funds or taking vacation, you're not getting paid for that shit. Only for when you're actually doing work. And they're like, hey, who's gonna do it then? I'm like, people that want public service instead of public profit, because that's what it should be about.
Man. But it was good talking to you, man. I'm glad that I got to interview you, and I'm glad that we're gonna get your message out there, and you got some real good points, man. You a very smart dude. I'm glad you came on this platform to spread your message, man. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Can I push out the website for people to go check out?
Oh yeah, man.
All right.
Oh yeah.
It's called thepeoplesmanifesto.blogspot.com. That's once again, the People's Manifesto, all one word, .blogspot.com. That has the whole set of demands. It has the entire action plan. It also has a link to a Discord. That's an invite link. So you can come and help us organize there. It has a template for flyers. You can break it up any way you want. All I ask is that everyone use the website at the bottom of the flyer. Put that around all your cities. Help spread the word that way. Talk to any organization you have, socialist organization, unions, organizations, everything across the board. I don't care. Also, if you want to follow me or get access to it anywhere else, I am at RPM17IG on Twitter. I am basically just pushing this out 24/7 on there. So you'll see me pretty quick doing that. Me and my group are, like I said, organizing, trying to get this thing going around. We will be working on a podcast probably starting early April of next year to, again, try to go into a little more details for this for people, since, you know, not everyone wants to sit there and read 11 pages. So we're just going to try to spread the message that way, any and every way we can. I know a lot of people have been asking, when is this going to happen? When is this going to happen? And I always say, when we get the numbers to make it successful. I don't have a problem with people trying to do strikes now, but if you want this to work, we need it to be the biggest mass movement in history. And that comes by awareness. We got to get the numbers up high. We got to get everyone's eyes on this thing, coming together, and then we make this happen. And for
at least 25%, right?
20 to 25%, and you have 20 to 25% not working, that's another 20 to 25% who can't work as well. That shuts down the whole economy. And once we get this going, for anyone that's curious, I'll just lay it out real quick. Strike's over. We get the new amendments in. Pretty much everyone in Congress will be resigning. New governments will be made with new elections. We'll have complete voter integrity, hand count, paper count, ranked choice voting all across the board to ensure an actual fair democratic government. And for anyone who says this is going to take a long time, I just want to tell everyone, they passed that CARES Act in like, I don't know how many days, less than a week. They passed the 9/11 Patriot Act bill overnight. Congress works when it's forced to. They work fast when they have to. They look for any opportunity and they move it. Well, this isn't their opportunity, this is ours. We're gonna have the new Constitution written up. It's going to be more people sourced, so we get the language as absolutely precise as possible. So there's not gonna be any dicking around later on with, oh, there's a wiggle room because they use the word the or as this way. No, fuck that shit. We're making it airtight, so there's no way they can try to get around any of that bullshit. So once again, the People's Manifesto.blogspot.com. That's where people can go check it out. And there will be the link to the Discord in there for people to come and help us organize all across the country. This thing's going to spread worldwide. Every country is going to start making up their own list of demands because obviously every country is a little different. But we're going to do a non-violent worldwide revolution to fix this planet and make our people one.
You joined the rebel movement, now you speaking to the leader. The system don't like me, the system don't like your ass either. The color of your skin, no matter to them, you are not equal. If you ain't part of the 1%, you are not